2024. As old conflicts rumble on and new threats emerge.
Do you know what's the most common thing that the countries around the world have done in the year 2024 and why this is the most important year for you?
In a year that will see the biggest display of democracy in history, what else will the next 12 months bring?
Elections. That's right, 2024 has been a year of unprecedented electoral activities. Almost half the world's population will be casting their votes, choosing leaders who will shape the future of our planet.
Sri Lanka, the country is less than a month away from electing its next president.
Where William Lai has won the election and is set to become Taiwan's president.
Shehbaz Sharif has been elected by the country's parliament to be Pakistan's next prime minister.
The way Putin has gamed the system, he could run and win next year and then do it all again in 2030.
The Labour Party has won this general election. I've called Sir Keir Starmer to congratulate him on his victory.
Change begins now.
From New Delhi to Silicon Valley, from Europe to South America, over 4 billion people are deciding who will lead the nation through one of the most turbulent times of modern history. Yes, 4 billion people will have had the opportunity to influence the course of history that's going to decide the global future. Never before have so many elections been held in a single year, making 2024 not just a year of decision, but a year of global transformation. Taiwan, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Azerbaijan, Finland, El Salvador, India, Pakistan, Russia, South Africa, Mexico, UK, Venezuela have already had the election. The only one big player left is USA.
This is a critical moment in India's history. It now has the world's largest population and one of the youngest.
It was quite a dramatic day. It began with political pundits warming up for a BJP landslide, but as the initial trends started pouring in, the markets tanked.
Defying expectations and poll predictions, millions of voters in India have issued a decisive mandate.
Well, India's Prime Minister has claimed victory in the country's election, but the performance of his party, the BJP, has fallen well short of expectations.
It is a hat-trick for India's incumbent Prime Minister. Narendra Modi has claimed victory and a historic third term, but the results have been humbling. Mr. Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party won 240 seats, far below the 272 needed to form government. But on Tuesday, the Indian Prime Minister said together with his alliance partners, he was set to form the next government.
India reached a significant political milestone in 2024 as Narendra Modi secured his third straight term as a Prime Minister. By partnering with National Defence Alliance, the BJP has managed to maintain its grip on the power. In this partnership, key cabinet positions such as Defence, Finance, Home Affairs and External Affairs are filled by returning ministers, ensuring continuity in India's economic, trade and defence policies. From an economic growth and bilateral relation perspective, Modi's return offers stability, as India's economy flourished during his leadership from 2014 to 2024. Under his governance, India's GDP grew from $2 trillion to nearly $4 trillion, positioning the country as the world's fifth largest economy, trailing only to USA, China, Japan and Germany.
So tonight, we are looking at India's position in the world. What makes it unique? How did India reach here? And how can we capitalize on it?
As countries around the world have completed their election, all eyes are now on USA, the key player in international trade and relation. The wait for the US election is building suspense and concerns about the future, leaving everyone eager to see what comes next. There are three main sectors in India that will have a huge impact, but watch till the end of the video to have a complete understanding. It goes without saying that whoever comes into power, Democrats or Republicans, will have a huge impact on the global market. Both parties have quite opposing ideologies, with their economic and overall policies slightly contrasting. With a lot of uncertainty and highly competitive elections anticipated, these US elections are undoubtedly going to have one of the most significant impact globally. Whichever party comes into power will likely use India strategically, imposing policies to benefit their stance against China's economic growth.
Moving on, India-China ties, long in a state of deep freeze, show signs of being on the mend again.
During Trump's presidency, the US shifted towards protectionism with an American-first stance, aiming to reduce imports, boost exports, and reduce dependency on other countries. This approach led to renegotiation of trade deals, notably with China, and impacted US relations with other trading partners, including India. The US economy initially thrived with low unemployment and high stock market performance due to low tax cuts and deregulation, though these benefits were seen as favoring the wealthier groups. Trump's tenure also highlighted the tensions with India. In 2019, he criticized India's high tariff on American goods and removed India's special trade status under the generalized system of preference, which had allowed some Indian exports to enter the US market, duty-free. Let's break down what GSP is. It's a program designed to promote economic growth in developing world by providing preferential duty-free entry for up to 4,800 products from 129 designated beneficiary countries and territories, including India. Removing India from this list meant higher tariff on Indian goods exported to the US market, impacting Indian exporters and industry significantly. This move was part of a broader push by Trump's administration to reduce trade deficit with the trading partners and demand more favorable terms for the US businesses. Should a Republican administration similar to Trump's take power again, India may face increased pressure to open its markets further, especially in sectors like agriculture and manufacturing. There could be renewed demands for India to lower its tariff and provide greater market access for the US goods, reflecting continuation of Trump's policies aimed at rectifying what he perceived as unfair trade practices. If the US imposes extra tax on Indian software services, prices could rise. This might lead to US companies to prefer local talents to avoid these additional costs, much like how you'd choose local chocolates over imported ones if it becomes too expensive. H-1B visas are crucial for Indian IT professionals to work in the US. If it becomes harder to obtain these visas, Indian companies might struggle to send their top developers to collaborate with the US clients. New rules on data privacy and cybersecurity could force Indian firms to spend more on securing US consumer data. It's like having to upgrade your home security system to fend off new, sophisticated threats, which can be costly. In contrast, the leadership of Democratic administration in the US is built on foundation of multilateralism and diplomacy. But what does that really mean? Multilateralism is when multiple countries work together on issues that affect them all. Think of it as a group project where everyone needs to collaborate to succeed. Diplomacy is all about managing these international relations through negotiation and dialogue. Together they help countries tackle big challenges like climate change, trade inequalities, and security threats. With Biden-Harris government, USA and India resolved the trade issues that had developed during the Trump's administration, opening markets for each other once again. One prime example of this in action is the Quad, involving US, India, Japan and Australia. This strategic alliance aims to ensure a free and open Indo-Pacific region, showing how multilateral efforts can lead to greater security and prosperity. Switching gears to environment, let's talk about the initiatives like the US-India Climate and Clean Energy Agenda 2030 Partnership. This initiative is not just about reducing carbon footprint, but also about boosting economic growth through investments in green technology, like solar energy and green hydrogen. India's commitment to renewable energy is highlighted by a record of 14.5 billion investments in 2021-2022, a notable increase from the previous years. Despite the benefits, there are hurdles to consider. Democratic administration often focus on human rights and democratic values, which can create tensions with countries that have different standards. For instance, labor rights and environmental standards may become contentious issues in trade talks. For India, meeting these US standards could require major changes in manufacturing and export, which can be expensive and complex. Take India's textile industry for example, a major contributor to GDP and employment, but known for labor issues like low wages and poor working conditions. To meet the demands set by the US, Indian manufacturers might need to invest in better facilities, higher wages and improved safety measures. While beneficial for the workers, these upgrades could significantly increase the cost, especially for small and medium-sized enterprises, potentially impacting their global competitiveness. On a positive note, democratic policies often lead to more opportunities for international students, including scholarship and exchange programs in the field of science, technology, engineering and mathematics. For Indian professionals, more inclusive immigration policies could ease the path to work visas and green cards, offering better job prospects and smoother transition from student to professional roles in the US. What's really in it for India? Despite these challenges, the relationship offers significant benefits. For India, aligning with these US policies can mean access to new technology and investments in sectors like clean energy, which are crucial for future growth of the manufacturing industry. Imagine this, a factory in India producing solar panels not just for local use but also for exports of global trade, driven by collaborative US-India initiative that supports sustainable development. In the high-stake world of international relations, one common threat unites both Democratic and Republican administration, the strategic military activities in the Asia-Pacific region. But what's really at play here? Let's dive into the intrigue of how military strategies and economic ambitions are colliding over the future of technology and global stability. At the heart of this drama is the struggle to contain China's influence. Both the US and India see China's assertive moves in the South China Sea and Himalayas as a threat to regional stability. Their answer, strengthening military activities and forming strategic alliance. The Quad, a partnership including US, India, Japan and Australia. This group isn't just about defense, it's about ensuring free and open Indo-Pacific region. Then there's Operation Malabar, a naval exercise that showcases the united front against China's growing military footprint. This collaboration underscores the urgent need for strategic balance in a region where power dynamics are constantly shifting. Now let's talk about different kind of a power. Semiconductors. The US is making massive investments under the CHIPS and Science Act, dedicating $50 billion to revitalize the semiconductor industry. This isn't just about building more chips, it's about securing the future of technology. By 2032, the US aims to triple its semiconductor manufacturing capacity, making a historic expansion. But the US isn't alone. India is also making waves. The the Indian government has greenlit major investments in semiconductor manufacturing, with projects like Tata Electronics and Powerchip Semiconductors in Gujarat and Assam. These initiatives aren't just about chips, they are about securing a foothold in the technology of tomorrow. These semiconductor facilities will create thousands of jobs and boost related industries, from automotive to electronics. And with the government offering up to 50% of the fiscal support, India is setting the stage for tech revolution. So as the US and India navigate these complex military and economic waters, one thing is clear: the future of global technology and security is being forged in the Asia Pacific. The stakes are high and the moves are strategic. Stay tuned as these high-stake games unfold, revealing how the balance of power and technology supremacy will shape the future.